During World War II, Greenland, a frozen expanse in the North Atlantic, became an unlikely, yet crucial battleground of strategy. Officially neutral under Denmark's rule, the island's location made it a prime target for Nazi and Allied forces alike. But what really happened in Greenland during the war? Conspiracy theories point to a secret U.S. occupation that changed the course of history and set the stage for Cold War tensions. Why was Greenland so important during World War II? This remote and icy island, often overlooked in the grand narratives of the war, played a surprisingly pivotal role. Its strategic significance was not immediately obvious to many, but for those in the know, Greenland was a key player in the broader conflict. The answer lies in its geography. Greenland's location made it a crucial waypoint for transatlantic flights, serving as a refueling stop and a navigational aid for aircraft crossing the vast Atlantic Ocean. This was especially vital during a time when long-distance flight technology was still developing. Additionally, Greenland was a source of cryolite, a rare mineral essential for aluminum production which was in high demand for aircraft manufacturing. The mining of cryolite in Greenland thus became a critical component of the war effort, feeding the insatiable need for aluminum to build planes. More importantly, Greenland housed weather stations that provided critical meteorological data. These stations were invaluable for military operations across the Atlantic and Europe, offering forecasts that could make or break naval and aerial missions. The harsh Arctic weather was unpredictable, and having accurate data was a game-changer. When Nazi Germany occupied Denmark in 1940, Greenland's fate hung in the balance. Denmark's control over Greenland was suddenly in question, and the island's strategic importance became even more pronounced. The Allies, particularly the United States, recognized the need to secure Greenland to prevent it from falling into enemy hands. Though it declared itself neutral, the Allies and Axis powers both eyed the icy island for its strategic potential. The Allies moved quickly to establish a presence, setting up bases and weather stations to ensure that Greenland would serve their interests and not those of the Axis powers. This move was crucial in maintaining control over the North Atlantic and supporting the broader war effort. Conspiracy theories claim that the United States saw an opportunity to secure Greenland for its own purposes. These theories suggest that the U.S. was not merely acting out of wartime necessity, but had long-term strategic interests in mind. Greenland's location made it a valuable asset for monitoring the North Atlantic and Arctic regions. In 1941, with Denmark unable to defend its territory due to the Nazi occupation, the U.S. allegedly made covert arrangements with Greenland's local officials to establish bases and take control of weather stations. These weather stations were crucial for predicting weather patterns that could affect military operations in Europe. Officially, these actions were framed as protective measures to prevent a German invasion. The U.S. government presented its presence in Greenland as a necessary step to safeguard the Western Hemisphere from Axis powers. This narrative was widely accepted at the time, given the global threat posed by Nazi Germany. However, critics argue that the U.S. overstepped its bounds, effectively occupying Greenland without Denmark's formal consent. They point to the lack of a formal treaty and the secretive nature of the agreements as evidence of an overreach. This has led to ongoing debates about the legality and ethics of the U.S. actions during this period. This secretive takeover wasn't just about WWII, it laid the groundwork for a long-term U.S. military presence. Even after the war ended, the U.S. maintained its bases in Greenland, citing the strategic importance of the region during the Cold War. This enduring presence has had lasting implications for U.S.-Greenland relations and continues to be a point of contention in discussions about American military strategy. Greenland wasn't just on the United States' radar. Nazi Germany also sought control of its weather stations to predict Atlantic weather patterns and support U-boat operations. This led to small-scale but critical skirmishes between German and Allied forces in Greenland's icy wilderness. By 1943, U.S. forces had dismantled several Nazi weather stations, ensuring that Greenland remained under Allied control. But this victory also highlighted Greenland's growing importance as a military outpost for the future. After the war, Greenland became even more strategically vital during the Cold War. The icy expanse of Greenland, with its remote and harsh environment, became a focal point for military strategists. Its location, nestled between North America and Europe, made it an ideal spot for monitoring Soviet activities and potential threats. The vast uninhabited landscapes provided the perfect cover for secret operations and installations. The conspiracy deepens with allegations that the United States used its wartime presence as leverage to establish long-term military installations, including Thule Air Base, a key site for monitoring Soviet activities. Thule Air Base, constructed in the early 1950s, became one of the most critical points in the U.S. defense network. Equipped with advanced radar systems and surveillance technology, it played a pivotal role in early warning systems designed to detect incoming Soviet missiles. The base was not just a military outpost, but a symbol of American presence in the Arctic. Some argue that the seeds of Greenland's Cold War role were planted during World War II, with the United States securing Greenland's cooperation through a mix of diplomacy and covert occupation. During the war, Greenland's strategic importance was already recognized, leading to the establishment of airfields and weather stations. These early installations laid the groundwork for future military activities. The cooperation between Greenland and the United States was not always transparent, with many operations shrouded in secrecy. Even today, Greenland's strategic value remains undeniable, raising questions about how much of its wartime story has been hidden. Modern military bases continue to operate, and the island's location remains crucial for global surveillance and defense strategies. The legacy of the Cold War lingers, with many historical documents still classified, leaving us to wonder about the full extent of Greenland's role in global military history. As new information comes to light, the true depth of Greenland's involvement in Cold War espionage and strategy may finally be revealed. Did the United States truly occupy Greenland during World War II without proper agreements? Or were their actions justified under the guise of protecting the island from Nazi invasion? Official records paint a picture of cooperation, but conspiracy theories suggest a hidden agenda, one that cemented U.S. influence in the Arctic and shaped global geopolitics. Whether it was a covert occupation or a necessary wartime strategy, the story of Greenland during World War II remains a fascinating chapter in the history of global conflicts. From a frozen outpost to a geopolitical hotspot, Greenland's role in World War II reveals just how far nations will go to secure strategic advantages. As we continue to uncover the hidden histories of the war, the story of Greenland reminds us that even the most remote corners of the world can hold secrets that shape history.